What's broke is using bad interpretations of clobber verses. What's woke is using better interpretations of difficult verses to understand the nuance. Bespoke is understanding that a hermeneutic of proof texting is not helping anyone. This article has been making the rounds. The question is homosexuality, has that been part of our Bible since the beginning? And what's going on in the article is that they are looking at different translations of some of the contentious verses around homosexuality in the Bible and looking at how they have been translated over the years. Now, that is a really interesting way to think about this. There's some really good thought and inquiry that's been happening here in this article, but I want to talk about why the situation is a little bit more complex than that, and actually why I think we need a better construct or way of approaching this topic if we're really going to allow the Bible to speak to us and shape us the way that it should. So, first of all, the word homosexual enters the conversation in Germany in the 19th century. That's why you don't see homosexual appearing in translations of the Bible before that. Homosexual doesn't enter the English conversation until about the early 20th century, and so it's definitely not surprising that older translations in English don't use it. The question then is, what did they use? Well, they used at times the term boy molester. And this is because homosexual didn't take on the idea of a part of someone's identity until the 19th and 20th centuries. Before that, homosexual activity was something you did. It wasn't part of who you were. It just wasn't part of how we thought about these things. And so what translators did was they looked at these terms in the Bible, they looked around the culture that surrounded them, and they saw the most pressing expressions of sin and evil they saw, which were those who took advantage of boys. And this is what they read into the text. And that's because the word that we're reading in the New Testament is arsenokoitos, which is a compound word made out of two Greek words, man and bed. When you don't have homosexual identity as a cultural framework to draw upon, it's not surprising that the most cultural expression of sin that you can see around you, that you imagine Paul is condemning, is the molestation of young boys, and that's what appears in the text.